session is the gentleman by the name of Andre Charles, who is also known as DJ Livestrong. He's a brother that is devoted to the things of the Lord, a wonderful husband and father, IT and computer teacher par excellence. He teaches at one of the top high schools in Trinidad and Tobago. He's also a YouTube teacher, director of an online business, and the pastor at Adonis Worship Development Center. He is also, although he won't tell you up front, he's also known as DJ Livestrong. So he's a gospel DJ as well at one of the top gospel radio stations in Trinidad and Tobago. So he's truly a multifaceted, wonderful facilitator who has a heart for youth. I ask you to join me on this platform. Use your reactions or whatever to give a resounding welcome to Mr. Andre Charles, who will take us through this session. Mr. Charles, please.
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, everybody. Afternoon, everybody. Is my screen shared? Do y'all see me?
Hi.
You'll see my face and a meme in the background and stuff like that. Do y'all see that?
Yes, we do.
Shared. And when I do this, you see me in the bottom right-hand corner and a whiteboard.
Correct, yes.
All right. And when I do this, do you see the disappointed cricketer looking at you with disgust?
I certainly did.
All right, cool, great, wonderful. All right. So I am here to I am here to talk to you about gaming, right? Now the problem is that when you're speaking to children about gaming, it's really weird because they think that old people don't know anything about games now. And you probably have said to yourself already, wait, they bring an old man to talk to us about gaming because he could see two gray hairs in my beard. Can you see the two gray hairs? Can you? No, you can't. You know. Let me get a view of who I am dealing with here now. Please, thanks. Let's see. I see 24 participants. All the people that are in the chat, right? Jump in the chat. Good. If you are under 15, no, sorry. If you're under 13, thumbs up. Let me see. All people at under 13. Whoa. Okay. All right. All the people that are between 13 to 15. Anyway, no, nobody. Y'all killing me here. So let's see how this works. Okay. Anybody there? Hi. All right. Anybody wants 400 Robux? I have a Robux card to give away. Whoa! It's getting worse and worse. Okay. Lisa, do they normally talk in each other? Everybody just say totally quiet and say not a word.
The thing is, we didn't register, so I'm not really sure of the persons that we have on, so I can't see. The Robux card, if that didn't do it, we know we don't have probably many young persons, so you may more have parents or something.
Let me just make sure. Is it a
You
lot
wanna
of
run a poll?
or actually, yeah, I want to know. I need to make sure so I know what I'm saying.
Okay,
Makes sense.
let me take a look.
Let's see. How many parents are here? Please indicate in the chat. Okay, I've seen one hand up for a parent. Well, that the person clapped, but okay, we'll take that. Parent.
One posted there.
I've seen our next thumbs up. I've seen some hands up. Okay, all right. Those are parents, and then everybody else who just not responding, they are neither parent nor children. They just
Or maybe we could find out who do we have on here that are your youth 21 years and under. If you're youth 21 years and under, if you could just type in youth so we see who the youths in there. Please.
parent.
And a parent.
All right.
Jonathan, youth.
Okay.
One youth man.
Well, yeah, one. Everybody else just afraid to talk because, well,
Another youth there.
this happens.
Children.
Youth. Okay, all right. I guess I gather there's a mixture. There you go.
Okay. Child. They're from says child.
Child. All right, I'll make it work. Okay. So let's start off by asking ourselves, when people play games or gaming. Gaming is really from a subsection of society called games could come from different places, right? Now, the reason why you play games is because you either want to be entertained or you want to be challenged or you want to learn. So let's start with the entertained part. When you get entertained, usually we look for entertainment from movies, right? Or TV or sports. But sometimes people not inclined towards sports because they're not physically competent or active. Some people get fed up of TV shows because they're often boring and they have the same stories repeated over and over. And then movies, they tend to be too linear or straightforward and they do really challenge you. But what if you could take the movie and be a part of it and write your own story? That's where a game comes in. Games give you the ability to create your own entertainment because you are now the character in the TV. And it used to be a TV, but now the monitor. So because you are now the character in the TV or the monitor, you get the ability to go and live in this place. What the whole point of entertainment is for you to disconnect from the world. That's why people always like to be entertained, because they don't have to put any thought into it. They don't have to think through anything. They don't have to assess anything. They basically just go to disconnect from the world. So when you go and get disconnected from the world, you would play games. And children tend to gravitate towards these things because when you're growing up, disconnecting from the world is something that you tend to want to do because you kind of get very frustrated. Right? And that's usually the biggest issue when it comes to gaming, the disconnection from the world. But we'll get to the issues part just now. So it's a good thing for you to be entertained. Being entertained is not a problem in life because we get entertainment from all sorts of different places. Music, TV, people, dogs, all sorts of things give you entertainment, and gaming is just one of the ways that we get entertained. The next way that people get why they play games is because they want to be challenged. Because gaming gives you a challenge that you have to conquer something, or you have to beat something, or you have to be good at it. The other ways that people are usually challenged will be like for sports and yeah, basically sports. But sports, karate, football, taekwondo, table tennis, whatever it is, some people just not into the sports life. So in order for them to be challenged, they go to find a place where they can live in. We are right there. You all hear me, right?
That's real. Right.
Right, yeah. So the sports now gives you the ability to challenge yourself. Yeah, right. Gives you the ability to challenge yourself. But when you have a game, you get to challenge yourself virtually. And the problem with being challenged virtually is that there are no consequences, so you can do whatever you want. Now, the next one is to learn. This one is a weird one. Some people play games genuinely to learn. Because they really like to learn in school. But they find it fun to learn from a game, so they will learn and play a game. And that's why people create educational games and all those different things. So from those three aspects of society, you kind of get why people want to play games. They want to be entertained, they want to be challenged, or they want to learn. And that's what it kind of comes down to. All right, any questions before I move on? Because
Yeah, hello. Good
yes,
afternoon. Yes, I wanted to say that the learning aspect is really weird. Because I was doing, my teacher was doing like trying to do like a gamification. So they're using games to learn. And I really didn't, it wasn't really fun. It wasn't really, so I don't understand the way that they're using games to learn. So yeah, just wanted to say.
cool. I totally get you and I totally understand because learning, like, the best part of learning is when you could play a game, but you don't know you're learning. Because the real skill in teaching, a teacher is not really a teacher. Like a teacher's really goal is not to there's a life hack, right? Yeah. The life hack is a good teacher doesn't teach you how to learn. A good teacher entertains you and you learn in the process. So literally, I'm an entertainer and I will do my best to entertain you for however amount of time I have. And in the process of entertaining you, hope that you learn something. But it doesn't always work out that way. And then when students get to the point where they actually want to learn, then you could just teach them to learn without entertaining because then they don't really care that much. So yes, gamification of things doesn't always work out because it sometimes it's kind of cringy. Like you'll be like, yeah, that's kind of cringe. Because I could clearly see that you want me to learn something while I'm playing games, and I refuse to be used and make you and by you to play a game because you actually want to teach me something. That's how you felt, Jonathan. You felt like you were being forced to play a game.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm in university, and she was using this whole gamification thing. We was basically like guinea pigs,
Yeah.
and she make us sign something so she can use for her undergraduate thing, and the whole semester it didn't really help me at all, and I failed the course. And then I went to do an online thing with from Harvard, and I got more learning from him than the gamification.
Yeah. I get you. I get you totally. You ever anybody ever sang what's called sing? Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? You ever sang Twinkle Twinkle Little Star?
I have, yeah.
Of course, everybody has sang Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. What did they teach you first? Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star or the alphabet? If you could remember that far back in your life.
The alphabet.
Sure. Okay. Think of the tone for Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and think of how we say the alphabet. Do you see a correlation? Do you see like a link between Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, A, B, C, D, E, F, G? You're putting it together? See that there? Yeah. So the reason you learn the alphabet is because it sounded like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And you didn't know that you were learning the alphabet, because if you were to teach children how to say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatnot, then it would feel like you're forcing them to learn something. But if you make it sound like a familiar song that they're playing, they will probably learn it better. So that's the point of learning and gaming. So Jonathan, I totally understand where you're coming from. It definitely sounds like you were used for some sort of postgraduate program, but that's besides the point, right? The thing is, we learn from playing games all the time, because when you are having fun, your barrier to learning is reduced a lot, right? So the reason we play games will be to be entertained, challenged, or learn, right? And we could get entertainment from many different places, but the difference with a game and entertainment is that you get control. You get to control the narrative or the story. All right, so anybody ever play God of War? God of War? Anybody ever heard of God of War with Kratos? No. Wow. A little bit? Oh, damn. All right. Then I'll have to go to the generic. Anybody ever heard of Fortnite? Fortnite, right? Please tell me. Yeah, Fortnite. Parents, you all heard of Fortnite already? Never heard of Fortnite? All right. You've heard of Call of Duty, aka COD. Yes, yes, yes. Please, please, please. I need to make sure. All right. Whew. Things are going downhill there for a while. All right. So, Call of Duty, right? Or COD or Fortnite. What you get to do is you get to control the narrative. So, have you ever watched a war show? A show that had war in it, and the people were fighting the battle, and the main character went this direction, they threw a bomb, they jumped through a window, they shoot some bullets, and all that stuff, and then at the end, they're victorious, but one of their friends had to die, and you sat down and you were sad because one of the friends died. Like, you ever watched a show, you saw it end a particular way, and you get upset, and you feel like that show shouldn't have ended like that. It shouldn't have ended that way. Okay. All right, so Jonathan says yes. I would imagine other people say yes, because that happens all the time. A lot of the times we just kind of watch the shows and we are mad with how it ends, or we're mad how it ends up because we like that particular character. When you play a game, you get to control that character, and you get to control the narrative of that person's journey. And that attacks innate human desire to have power or to have control. So I'll be dealing with 3 human desires that we have all the time, right? So the first human desire is control / power. And then we'll talk about how it works. So control or power. When you control the narrative, you have power. You determine what the characters do, you determine what happens, you determine how it goes, and you get to see exactly what you want because you are now in the game. The next one is the challenge part. You get to compete against others. So usually football and basketball and tennis and all those different things would be the ways that you compete against others. But when you play a game, you could play MMO, massively multiplayer online, right? Massively multiplayer online. That means you get to compete with anybody in the world. And when you compete, guess what happens? Dominance. You get to have dominance, or you get to dominate somebody. And there's a natural desire inside of us to always dominate somebody, which is why people bully other people, which is why people get into positions of power so that they could dominate other people, and which is why people get into like all sorts of positions so that they'll be able to take advantage of other people because it feels good to beat somebody else. And a lot of people genuinely have that. Now, healthy competition is good, but unhealthy competition is where you get to the point of, bullying people. And then the next thing is, after you compete against others, one of the biggest things that gaming does, gives you no consequences. Because you could always stop/restart. It gives you a feeling of no responsibility. These three here are the three things I want to focus on. All right, so I'm going to pause for questions again. Any questions about the fact that gaming gives you the ability to control the narrative of the story? It allows you to compete against others, and it gives you no consequences or no real life. Well, it doesn't seem like there are any real life consequences. Everybody's good at that there so far? Not doing it both from a child and a parent perspective, because I want the parents to understand why children playing games, and I want the children to understand why playing too much games is a problem. So I need to make sure that, we good. So we good?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. All right, so we are good. Now, there's this game called Clash of Clans. Do you all know about? Anybody ever heard about Clash of Clans? It's a mobile game where you have to build like a townhouse and you have to collect gold and collect elixir and all that stuff. Jonathan knows about it. Please tell me there's somebody else that knows about Clash of Clans. I'm begging. No. All right. Okay. And before I get to Clash of Clans, there's this game called Candy Crush where you have to line up different candies and they will explode when you get all of them in a particular order and you get points. Anybody knows about that game? Candy Crush? Yes. All right, cool. Good. So Candy Crush has these, points, and you could get like power ups, and you could get like, these these sorts of feelings like, hey, I'm really good at this. I could get to the next level. Whenever you get to the next level, you feel like, hey, I have control because I am getting better and I'm going to the next level, and I'm like controlling the narrative of this candy place. Sorry. Have you ever seen an adult that was addicted to the game Candy Crush? Because you know, at some point in time, there's a certain cap that the games have that will force you to spend money, right? So they will make the game and they'll make it possible for you to, so you could start here, and this is the possible ceiling that you could get to the game. You could reach to 1,000 points. But in order to get to 1,001, it's so hard that the difference between 0 and 100 is that. But the difference between 1,000 and 1,001 is that. And in order to get to 1,001, guess what you have to do? You have to spend money. Because when they design a game, they're not designing it just for free so that you could play and just have fun. They're designing it because people put long hours and years behind that game, and now they need to get paid for it. In order for them to get paid for it, they have to make money somehow. So what they will do is they will get you addicted to it. And then once they get you addicted to it, they will make you want to spend money on it. And then when you spend more money on it, your addiction now is going to come almost like a drug addiction, where you will do everything that's possible to get to that new point, because your desire for these three things, control or power, dominance over people, or your desire to have no responsibility in life in this place, will get you there. You can think of any free game, all of them, no matter what. They always get you to a point where you love it so much that you will decide to spend money on it. And that's kind of scary. Everybody falls into that chapter, that kind of chapter. Old and young, it's not just young people, but young people are more susceptible to it because they have less control over these three things. They don't know what is control of power. They don't know how much to dominate, and they don't know how much to have no responsibility in life. So they always get caught with it. So, right. So I was telling you about Candy Crush, right? So Candy Crush, there are many adults who spend so much money on Candy Crush because they wanted to buy whatever the thing is in Candy Crush. What's the name of the thing in Candy Crush that you want to buy? I forget the name of it. There's a they buy gems. I believe it's gems. Or you could buy something. But anyhow, the smart people will stop and say, no, I'm not going to spend money on this. But any people who are in a weak emotional state will be like, yeah, I'm going to spend money on this because I want to win. I want to be dominant. I want to have the power, and I want to control everything. Which is the same thing that children do when they play Fortnite, because they will go and ask their parents for money so that they could buy different skins, so that they could buy different guns, so they could buy all these different things, because they want to have those things. And that's where the addiction part comes in. So look at me now, right? I'm a big man. I am smart. I went to school. I know about God. I have studied theology. I've done all those different things. I was playing this game called Clash of Clans. And Clash of Clans is you building a townhouse. You build your townhouse, you collect some gold, you collect some other materials, and you just build build. You pop your fortress. People come and attack you, and you basically have to fend them off. When you fend them off, you get points, and you get more points, and you build your townhouse and whatnot. I was really good at that game. It was a mobile game, and every time I sat down, I was playing it, just, on the odd moments. And I realized that, well, I didn't realize I was addicted to it because, well, the game was fun. So one day, there is this thing called a raid where another person from another town could come and raid your town and steal your gold and all that stuff. Basically like a Western, sort of like Vikings kind of vibes. So they would come and they would steal your gold. I was in traffic by a red light, and I got a notification on my phone that said you were just raided by somebody. This person has been raiding me for like, I don't know, 4 days straight. Every time I raid, I'll go and get back my stuff, they come back and raid me again. I get back my stuff, they raid me again. And I was in traffic by a red light, and I saw this person raid me. So I pulled out my phone while I was going to
Is it?
Don't laugh, eh? Yeah. Don't laugh at me. Yeah. So I pulled out my phone and I started to attack that person right there. The light changed to green, and I heard horns blaring behind me, because this time the light changed to green, but I so focused on my phone trying to establish dominance over this person that raided me so badly that I was driving and playing the game. So when the green light changed, I drove again, and I was holding my phone in front of the steering wheel and looking down at what was happening in the game and trying to look at the road at the same time, because I couldn't take the fact that I was losing in the game. And this virtual place with virtual coins with absolutely nothing that has any bearing on real life was causing me to endanger my life. And then that moment, when I realized I was driving and playing the game, I just uninstalled it one time, because I realized, oh, that was bad. That was really, really bad. Apparently, I figured it out. But there are some people who don't figure it out, and they end up staying inside for hours. They end up not using the washroom. They end up not eating. And they just sit down and play the game for either one of these 3 reasons. They want to have control or power over the game to show that, yes, I beat the game, or I have control over this game, because they can't control anything else in life. Dominance. If they're playing an online game, they literally just go around the world picking fights, trying to beat other people to make it to the number 1 spot in their region or the number 1 spot in the world. And they might even install hacks. And then they also, deep down inside, they want no responsibility. So if something happens in the game, like you die or you fail or whatnot, you just restart it and you try again, because there are no consequences of playing something so hard, devoting your time to it, and getting absolutely nothing out of it. And that's the danger that happens. Questions? Anybody has any questions before I go on? Nope, no questions. All right, good. Right.
Maybe
What's that? Go ahead. What's that, Lisa? Oh, okay.
can I comment, Andre? Not a
Yeah.
question, but
Yeah, go ahead.
asking if I could comment.
Sure.
Yeah, that thing, that part that you mentioned about people seeking to like win in life and exert dominance. I haven't been around a lot of gamers, but like the men in my church, some who may not, let's say, be seemingly very successful otherwise, indeed, they kind of addicted to FIFA and would sit for literal hours, 4 or 5 hours going on, just playing FIFA and talking about being able to beat this one or beat that one. I mean, big men, some of them married and all kind of thing, and going on for hours about FIFA and talking about something that happened in a match 10 years ago that they beat this one. And this kind of thing just coming back and stunning me here as I listen to you. And it really gives you an artificial feeling of being so in control. And then I remember there's I don't know if you know this place, a gaming place at the center of Kirab Junction upstairs. And that's when I realized how addictive this thing is, because I would see there's a photocopy place too, right on the outside. And then you enter a door and there's like what I would call a gaming den. And I would see these men and hear them talking and see them looking unwashed, like they have overnight gaming going on. So these men just sit for hours, strong men that could be attractive looking, but they don't even want to take care of themselves, just locked in that den, just playing. And I realized that that thing of control and dominance plus no responsibility is a real thing. So parents, take this session seriously, learn all that we can in this, and hopefully help your child not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, you are totally correct. And well, I see it. Like I would have seen it all the time because in my teenage years, playing FIFA and beating other people was like your hallmark, your standard of greatness. And the thing that I would have experienced is that I never used to like to play multiplayer games because people always used to beat me. Like I was never good at multiplayer games. But you see games where you had to play the game by yourself and go on like a quest and accomplish tasks and like get goals or whatnot. Ooh, that used to make me feel like I was special. But like when I had the list of games that I beat, and I tell everybody, yeah, I beat that game, yeah, I beat that game, yeah, I beat that game, I beat that game, and I beat that game. They'd be like, wait, can you not beat it? I'll be like, no, there is no game I will start playing that I will not beat. I am determined that I will beat it because it gives you control or power. It does, it does. When it comes to multiplayer with other people, it gets worse because now you get control of power, which translates to like dominating somebody else, making them feel smaller, making them feel like you are superior. That's what we look for. And well, of course, every human being wants a no responsibility life where they can disconnect from the fact that they have to maintain relationships, you have to get a job, you have to work, you have to support, and you have to sustain some sort of life. People just don't want that because genuinely, deep down inside, our sinfulness wants us to abscond all responsibility and be like, nah, I don't want to take any responsibility for anything in this life. But God doesn't really God kind of really calls you to do stuff now or do things. So there are some people who have conquered the gaming landscape and they could just participate in light gaming and they could play and know when to stop. And when you meet people like that, you should shake their hand because once you go down this rabbit hole, there's only one way out, which is to stop totally because it doesn't really, it's kind of almost like pornography. Like once you go down that rabbit hole and you say to yourself, oh yeah, I could handle this or I could handle that, and you realize nah, you can't, it's a definite addiction that you would lose yourself in. When should you cut it out, or when should you allow it to be considered light gaming? I will tell you a story very quickly about myself. So I was back in the days when I had a PlayStation 2, right? Right now they're on PlayStation 5. So I had bought a PlayStation 2 with my own money. Because as soon as I started to work, my first salary or something. So yeah, my first salary, I bought a TV and a PlayStation 2 because my mother always told me, your first salary, buy whatever you want, because after that you're going to save everything. And I was like, okay, no problem, I'll do that. So first salary, I bought what I wanted, which is a PlayStation 2. And when I got that PlayStation 2, after I came home from work, and I wasn't in university yet because I was like taking a year off to work and save money before I go to university. I just come home and play game because, well, what else is that to do? And it was it was difficult because one day my father like walked across one of the controllers and my PlayStation fell down. Now, this is the first piece of equipment I ever bought in my life, and it fell down and it wasn't working. The amount of hate I experienced in my heart there, boy. Ooh, I don't think I ever come close to like wanting to kill somebody, but wait, I feel like I could have killed somebody. Why? Because my pride and joy that was allowing me to escape into this place of no responsibility, allowing me to have control or power, it was now gone. What in the world was I going to do then? Like I had no escape. And because of that, I realized that my PlayStation 2 was my idol. And if I didn't get rid of that idol, I would have been in a bad place. So I eventually went and I got the PlayStation fixed. But then I was in a serious relationship with my wife, right? And we are kind of deciding, well, when we're gonna get married. I was like, oh, if I'm going to get married, something has to give. What is going to give? What matters more, having a healthy marriage or being able to live in this gaming place? Having a healthy marriage. So if I continue playing game, more than likely I will not be able to have a healthy marriage. So there are people who have continued playing game and they still have a healthy marriage. Don't get me wrong. But for me, I had to stop and say, no boy, I can't. So I cut out gaming completely. I just took the PlayStation 2. I sold it or I gave it to somebody else. And I was like, yeah, that's yours. I don't want it again. Because I'm going to focus on things that are important in life now, which is my studies and my marriage and whatever life had to get. So I never played games since then. On a console, that was mine. I played game on a console with other people and friends and whatnot, but that's kind of like casual. You play, you win, you lose, doesn't matter. You move on in life, because somewhere along the line, you had to realize that this thing cannot be a be all and end all. It cannot control you. So at the same time, there are other people I know had PlayStations at that point in time. They got married. They made their decision with their spouse that, listen, gaming is my escape place. So when I need to escape, I'm going to go there. Can I do that? Just like anybody else, when they get married or whatnot, they have to decide, okay, what are the things that you like to do for leisure? I like to go out and lime. I like to do this and whatnot. And be like, okay, cool. When it's time to go out and lime, you go out and lime, but understand your limits. Make sure you come back on time, all that kind of stuff. And next person says, I like to sit down and watch movies. Okay, cool. Go and sit down and watch movies, but you can't sit down and watch movies whole day. If somebody says, oh, I like to play games, you'd be like, okay, cool, go ahead and play games, but you can't sit down and play games whole day. The only problem is with gaming, there is no physical red flag that stops you. So people who like to go out and lime, they will have some sort of physical red flag, like they will get tired, they might drink too much, they might get sick or some kind of thing like that. People who like to watch movies all the time, they will get bored of the movies, they'll get tired, they will have anything to watch and they wouldn't want to watch anything. But gaming is the drug that just keeps on giving, boy. Because you don't notice when you're at home when you're tired because you're not doing anything tiring. All you're doing is sitting down. You don't notice when you're hungry because you're just eating snacks and whatnot. You're just going to the fridge, get water, and go in. And you don't really notice when you're sleepy because you don't get tired. So you're resting whole day and you're basically sitting down playing game. So you could get lost a lot deeper in gaming than any other entertainment, and which is why there are so many gaming addictions that happen in the world. To the point where China has banned all people under the age of 18 for playing more than 2 hours of games per week. Because they realize that their workforce will be totally crippled if their current crop of children grow up to be addicted to games, because then they won't be good workers. And China prides itself on its hard work. So a whole country decided to ban games for children on weekdays, and they could only play 2 hours on weekends or something like that, because they needed to make sure that they don't get addicted. the rest of the world, they really do that because they leave it up to the parents to deal with it. But a lot of the times, the parents don't really grasp the parents and the children don't grasp the dark hole that it is. Because I say, I liken it onto pornography. Once you get into it, it's real hard to come out unless you do a cold turkey, cut and dry. Don't even watch any shows that have women like in any sort of skimpy clothes or anything like that because it will trigger you. And same thing happens for gaming. So usually this is the part where children will be like, nah, I could handle it. I know when to stop. And this is the part where children will be like, where parents will be like, that's it, I'm going to throw away the PlayStation. But there has to be some sort of understanding of the situation and a sober reaction to it. So let me see if anybody has any comments about the addiction part, or has anybody ever witnessed the addiction, or anybody ever came out of the addiction. Basically, any comments or questions? Let me pause for that now.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I want to say that I came out of the addiction. Every lunchtime, every break time, I used to play so much games with the friends over and over and over and over. No sleeping, no eating, all them thing. It really, really is a very addictive. I feel like it is giving, like, let's say you're not popular in school, it's giving like a popularity. So you can play with your friends, you can enjoy, you don't have to talk to nobody, you're just playing games with them. So yeah, it's really addictive, and it really, 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 really can affect your mind and brainwash you and everything.
So what helped you come out of it? Like what made you decide to be like, all right,
I think it was because two things. It was for CXC. I know that I couldn't, I think God made me realize that the people I have around me wasn't carrying me nowhere, especially the gaming. So CXC was coming, I had to do chemistry, bio, IT, and all them things. And that whole gaming Friday, lunchtime and break time wasn't cutting it. And I had to do my SBAs, I had to do my work. So one of my friends who was gamers, he came out before me, and he say how gaming not carrying away, you gotta do work, you gotta do this. So he helped me to come out. And then when I came out, I got my passes, I went to university, and my friends still just do the whole gaming thing. And me and him did the best out of the whole gaming squad. And right now they're still doing the Roblox, they Brawlhalla, they everything. So yeah, that would make me come out.
Okay. All right. So education, well, having some sort of educational direction did kind of hit you a reality check. Yes. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Thanks. Any parents witnessing it in their children right now, and they kind of seeing, oh, that's what happening. And that want to share, or would have seen it in their children. No? Okay.
Andre,
Yes,
Alison Mason here.
Hey.
Yeah, boy. I don't know about children now, but you see me, I was getting addicted to these series movies where you have a whole set of seasons and seasons. And the worst thing is you're feeling the lodge. You're supposed to be studying your word more, praying more, but you're ignoring it. Okay, as soon as this part finish, I will go. And then you want to see the next one. And I was getting addicted to that. So I don't think it's only gaming. You could get addicted. And then worse yet, when the movie ends, the series, everything's finished, and you don't like the ending, as you were saying, you could feel real depressed.
Yeah.
You know? Yes. So my thing to get out of that, anytime I start looking at, and first I will look at down the movies. And if I see one with a series, I bypassing that. Yeah. Unless it's looking like something I into, like, I say, okay, I know I wouldn't get addicted to it because I already like, this kind of movie.
Yeah.
And when it's time to fast, I would fast from movies
Right.
completely. So
Okay.
that helped me.
I get you totally, yeah. Because as I said, yeah, the same thing, same concept is it takes it on a dark hole, boy, a dark hole, and you'll kind of get lost in it. And the movies and stuff, it's comparable to a point because you could cut off movies and TVs a lot faster than gaming, because gaming gets you into a totally different world, a virtual world where you're thinking in control. And yeah, Jonathan, anime does that to you too when you're watching when you're going from one anime to the next and you're just going and going and going, and even though you don't like it, you're still watching it because you're just lost in this fantasy world. Yeah, we tend to like to run away from reality. It is a human nature, it's a sinful human thing where we tend to run from our problems. It's kind of like Cain and Abel. When Cain killed Abel, God really came and to kind of talk to Cain and be like, "Hey, Cain, what happened there, boy? Are you your brother's keeper?" And instead of actually facing the problem that just took place, Cain was like, "I gone," and Cain ran from the reality of the situation. It's the same thing that happens. Judas did it too. When Judas was like, "Oh my goodness, I was the one that contributed to killing Jesus," he ran from the situation. So in our human nature, we run from the situation, and gaming gaming is like tailor made to create a place for you to run from situations. It goes past the level of entertainment that you want to have, and creates something past entertainment where you now become the architect of your entertainment, and if you not there, no entertainment will take place. That's all happened, boy, and it's real dangerous. It's like the ultimate escape, yeah. Yeah, correct. Aside from I mean, the strongest one ever, the strongest one ever is like sexual temptation and sexual sin. That's like the ultimate escape. That's why people get caught in it all the time, because that one is not just an escape from the responsibility, but it also deals with your senses, your physical senses. Gaming has no physical part to it. Gaming is just purely virtual. But like sexual temptation, that's the biggest one that there is. But gaming comes really, really, really close. Like really, really, really close. To the point that is a $1 trillion industry where they literally make the games in such a way that you will get addicted. The point of the game is to addict you so that you will spend more money on it. And when you spend more money on it, you start to now attach your material possessions to getting a virtual release now, something like that. Yeah, anybody else or anybody disagrees with me? I would love if somebody disagrees with me so we could have a discussion.
I have a question. Not really a question, but a statement. For me, you're saying that it will cause you to make like to spend your money on it. That's one thing. Like even though I was in the trap, I think that's one thing I never done it. 2 reasons: because they asked for credit card, I had no credit card. So I couldn't do it if I wanted to. And even on Ludo, I just play Ludo sometimes.
Yeah.
And for me I don't think it makes sense like I using real money to go and buy little coins and money. It didn't make sense for me at all. I spent my good money for a little $1,000 that they're gonna waste fast. So I didn't spend no money. I'm not really a Fortnite fan, so I didn't buy no Roblox or anything. Not Roblox, V-Bucks.
It's the V-Bucks, yeah. Yeah, you're correct. One of the biggest reasons is because you didn't have a credit card to use. But if there was a credit card readily available, the temptation would have been stronger. It's like someone who's throwing any states has run up $40,000 bills on the parents' credit cards just buying things inside games because they see no consequence. They have no responsibility because it's not their money. So most of the times the money that's spent is not your money, you know. Most of the times it's children spending the money that their parents make and have on their credit card, or it could be an adult who chooses to use their dispensable money for that. So everybody has in their budget, entertainment money. So like, money to go to this place, money to go to the cinema, money to, enjoy whatever. Most people have that in their budget. Just that some people have it in their budget and then they go over budget with it because they see it as, well, yeah, it is just entertainment. I'm using my entertainment money, but eventually entertainment money kind of goes beyond what you have. Yeah. Anyone else?
Andre, my question.
Yeah.
A little far off, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you, in your research on this gaming thing, encountered stories of people who maybe became demon possessed or anything like that as a result of some of these games that they were involved in?
I think so. I never got to investigate it in any way. I've definitely heard of it. It's but what I did when I did have the conversation or whatnot with the persons, there was a culmination of things that came together to get that person in that position. So
Okay.
I wouldn't say that the gaming itself was the root cause of it, but it was more like a gateway or a pathway because the devil finds the easiest way to get to you. So devil will be like, well, I have an opening here, I will attack this person through this avenue. So yes, it's one of the avenues where I have seen attacks take place, but I can't say with surety that it would have been because of the gaming, but it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like I would have seen people who used to watch a lot of pornography get demon possession by sexual demons kind of thing because of that. But it also may have been something to do with molestation or interfering in their childhood that led them to that gateway, and then through that gateway they were exposed, that kind of thing. When it usually comes to demon possession, I've realized that things are very complicated, and it's not always a kind of a linear path to it. Now there's always some sort of journey they had to go through to get to that point. But yeah, that's my honest answer.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I have one question. I also realized that with like if you do like demon possession, like what she was talking about, I also realized that if you get elected like a child, like if your child wanted a boy, not a girl, and thing like that, or your child not take your parents not taking your own, all them can be factors of you feeling could lead you to doing like getting a gateway to gaming or porn or anything like that.
Yes, that's true. That's totally true. Because if your sense of belonging is really poor, like your self-esteem, not self-esteem, but your sense of belonging is really low, you'll always gravitate towards something like a friend group or some type of activity that will give you, like a gang or anything like that, that'll give you a place of belonging. And yes, gaming is one of those places where children gravitate to when they are feeling like they don't belong in their family unit or their home or whatnot. They will definitely go there because it's an easy pull. It gives them everything that they want. I'm seeing somebody else is unmuted there. Brenda Charles, you wanted to say something, or you're just unmuted by mistake? All right, I think she unmuted by mistake. Yeah. So there is a definite link between sense of belonging and your family unit and falling into this trap. It's just that this trap real big right now. is a huge one to fall into because it's a $1 trillion industry. It's all around you. This came in sexuality and homosexuality. Yeah, boy, those traps really, really big right now. All right. I'm going to have to assume that everybody's just soaking up the information and they're just saying to themselves, wow, what I know what I have to do now. Is there anybody, right? Like, I know you probably don't want to talk, but you could probably let me know in the chat that you're soaking up the information and you're going to act on it. I really that is something I would definitely want to know. If you found out all of this and you say to yourself, all right, I'm going to have to make some changes, whether it's in parenting or whether it's in the way that you play game or follow or look for games or whatnot. Or people just sitting down, listening, and don't know how to chat in Zoom. I don't know. Normally when I talk about these things, people usually have a lot of questions and a lot of comments. You sure nobody else have a question or anything that runs through your mind, even if you disagree? I would really love to discuss it.
I have a question. Let's say that you and your significant other or girlfriend or boyfriend does play games together. Have you ever got a report that they broken up because of playing a game?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wherever there is dominance, there is conflict. And the desire to be dominant in a virtual space definitely would leak over to the desire to be dominant in a physical space. It's almost like if you play a sport with your significant other and you're better than them, or you get more medals, or you get more limelight or something like that, and you don't know how to handle it. Yeah, there would be friction at home because of it. Because, well, humans already know how to handle dominance now. We don't really know by default how to have healthy competition and win with grace and lose with grace. So you win gracefully and you thank the opponent for competing very well, and you lose with grace and you thank the winner for competing better than you. That's not something that we do very well by default, human-wise. But yeah, I know gamers who would. Anybody else?
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Sandra.
Yes, Brother Charles, I'm a Sunday school teacher, and I'm listening to this, and normally when we talk to the children, we would give them, advice not to look at this or play this or whatever, because they are outright and blatant signposting these things that would lead them in the wrong direction. But in listening to you now, I recognize that even these seemingly games that we would not possibly tell them anything about it, there is a subtle and underlying motive by the makers of these games to lure these children into a point where they can be addicted.
Yes.
So that as teachers, we have to be so careful, and I'm glad that parents are on this, because it means then that parents now has to play they have to be watchdogs over the children and monitor them, and because you can't tell a child don't play no game or whatever, because they possibly would need some form of entertainment.
Yes, you're totally
So
right.
I am saying that parents' role now has to be so guarded. They have to be looking after these children in such a way, looking over them that they would not reach the position that they would be addicted. And I mean, it's a serious thing. It's not something that, we can flippantly say that we are going to discuss it here or discuss it there, but it's something very deep, and could affect generations and generations. So I think that parents really have, we really have a role cut out for us, Sunday school teachers, and we really have to be in the presence of God. And now you're talking about, things that like Jonathan was talking about, things that can lure you into these things. And one of the things in studying um, the life of Joseph, we saw where his brothers, his 11 brothers, were led in this role of doing so many things because of favoritism by the father. And it led these children, these 11 boys, into a whole ruse of evil things to get their brother. So there are so many things that as parents that we have to be so careful of, because we can be the initiator of these things. So I don't know. But I thank you for, opening the eyes of us Sunday school teachers, and I am sure parents on this platform, as to our future role in guiding our children in this generation, this millennial generation.
It's not
Thanks.
millennial, it's Gen Z. We pass millennial. I'm a millennial. But yeah, I get you. I get you. It's Gen Z. Um, as you spoke about that, I am a parent and I have two children that play games. One is 9, one is 10, and they play Roblox all the time. They've even used their money to buy Robux, like, and I have bought it for them. So, like when you were younger, you would get your allowance or you would get money for doing whatever you had to do, and you would probably go and buy a little toy that you saw in the mall, or you probably save money to buy a new something, buy a new shoe or some kind of thing like that. Yeah, my children does buy Robux, which is a currency inside of a game to get things inside the game. Now, I kind of had to decide if I was going to allow it or not. And in the end, I allowed it because, especially during COVID, because of the last 2 years of COVID, they were inside all the time. They couldn't go outside. They couldn't go and play and all that kind of stuff. And their friends, that's where they were meeting them. They were meeting their friends online to play the game, and they were playing the games online. So when they asked to buy virtual currency with real money, I was like, okay, once you know that it's your money that you're using and it's not my money. So they would save their money from whatever, from reading books and whatnot. And they save the money and then they say, I want to spend it on this. And if they decide to spend it on that, I didn't really stop them, because they would have to have some sort of understanding of the value of money and what they use the money for. I don't know if it worked properly yet, but I have allowed it, because the I don't know, the way I intend to parent, or the way my wife and I intend to parent, is more from an understanding perspective than a iron fist perspective. But sometimes you need the iron fist, sometimes you need the understanding. And anybody that's a parent would know, you really can't figure it out, because parenting is kind of winging it and dealing with each situation as it comes up once it's within certain bounds. So I kind of totally in it right now. What I could say is that, as like parents and as Sunday school teachers or whatever, as you were saying, there is um, there is an element of active parenting that has to take place now that's different from the active parenting I used to do before. The active parenting I used to do before would be like, okay, you're going across by this person. All right, make sure you don't pass on this street. Make sure you pass here. Watch out for this car. If this person tell you to get to ask you to for a drop, don't go with that person. Go here. Make sure you only take taxis that you know and all that kind of stuff. Those are the things that you used to be warning about. Now you have to warn about. Make sure when you're in the chat, you're not talking to anybody. If anybody turn on your microphone, stop. If anybody send you a message and you don't know who they are, blah blah blah, all those sort of things. You need to kind of know what happens inside of a game to be able to give some sort of warnings for life now, because life has changed. And as you said, you can't really stop them. It would be unfair to say that you can't play any games because entertainment has to come from somewhere. But managing it would require knowledge. And if you don't have the knowledge, or if you don't seek out the knowledge of how to address these situations, then you might end up causing might end up having an iron fist for something that you don't need an iron fist for, because it is possible to play games in a healthy manner and in a controlled manner and not get addicted. It just requires active, a different kind of monitoring. Yeah, so that's what I would say. And I'm glad you brought up that point, because from a parent perspective, it's easy to just say, that's it, nothing, no games ever. But that's the really, 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 really low road. The high road is to understand it, adapt, and mold it into the direction that you want the child to go, and show that, listen, if you want to do this, you have to be able to do it responsibly, just like all other things in life. Yeah. So thanks for that. Anybody else?
Andrew,
Yes.
yeah, me again.
Hmm.
For parents, right? Now I'm in my 60s. I am in no way familiar with these gaming things.
Yeah.
So if thank God I don't have no grandchildren to be monitoring, but even for adult children, how would you know if something is, say, demonic? Because I was listening to this video where this woman, the child was looking at something called Minecraft, M-I-N-E, craft. And only to realize that in that game, they're teaching the child to cast spells, to be a warlock or a wizard or witch or whatever. And it's only because she happened to be paying attention at the time. So is there some way you can recognize games by the packaging or the I don't know. You just had to listen to all.
Yeah, you had to actually like play it with them. Like, sadly. I don't want to make it sound like it's simple to do, because you're actually doing something that you don't want to do for the sake of the child. It's like, let's say you grow up playing football and you love to play football, and your child decide they like water polo. Every time you have to go to one of them water polo tournaments, you're cringing because you're like, what kind of sport is this? I know, all I know about is football, and I wanted you to play football, but you're playing water polo. But sooner or later, as a parent, you have to now be like, okay, this is what my child likes. Let me be a part of it, and let me try to understand it and be the guardrails that they won't ever see. So yeah, you might have to actually sit down and play the game with them. It's something that I have done, and it's kind of weird, but yeah, you had to do that. It's trust me, like it's weird to do it, because you feel so out of place, but you learn so many things about what is happening, and then you may be able to, like, have genuine conversations about what is going on, more than just a conversation about, hey, don't do this or do that. You might have a conversation and be like, oh, so what does this do? Oh, why did you do this? Oh, wait, I thought you was playing this. And then when you have the genuine care about it, you stand a better chance of being able to give the warnings, because you care about it genuinely. You understand?
You could do that with younger children, but when you have adult children who, well, you're expecting they would know, especially Christian children, you expect them to know, right? But just as a parent, you just want to check in case. And if you find something looking off and you tell them about it, it's like, oh God, mommy, everything is something for mommy. You kind of become like a humbug
Yeah, well, when they reach an adult, that's when you're seen as it don't matter.
Yeah,
It don't matter
yeah,
what.
yeah, then hope that you train them anyway. They should go and hold on to that.
Yes, that is like basically what you had to hold on to. Like no lie, that's all you could hold on to because you ain't
For
gonna get
real.
when you tree young and you bend it wrong. It's hard to straighten when it old and strong. That was rush out, I see. So I was kind of be like,
Boy.
yeah, if you bend it properly at the start, then you have to kind of trust. You could pray, and you could pray that
Yeah.
that all that was instilled in person A would be able to
Mhm.
get them to realize that they should turn from that and trust that God will show them. Because as an adult, you ain't really getting to chart the direction of your child again, per se, other than money.
I pray still pelting my 2 cents.
Yeah. Well, you had to put it in because I mean, it's still your child. It's still your you still care for the direction that they go. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Sometimes I feel a little paranoid too, but
it's
yeah.
part of it because as children, we always be when you're growing up, your adults, your parents always sound like they paranoid until you get older and you realize, oh shucks, they weren't paranoid. They were seeing something I wasn't seeing. So
Hmm.
I sort of hope that that time comes where they see the things that you are seeing and trust.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. But I get you totally. One day I'll be like you.
Yes, Andre, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anybody? I see Jonathan, you unmuted, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say that the same thing when you said that when you get older, you'll realize everything. That's happening with me with movies. So I am 18, but sometimes I'll be so like sometimes like how you said that you cannot watch like the like watch a movie, like the game itself and see if it's bad or if it have things that are not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I realized that sometimes even like let's say you watch a movie and you have a trailer, sometimes the trailer will show you what you want to see. But in that movie, it have secret thing that only like adults will see and
Yeah.
it will pass by from the children.
Mhm.
And these days, like I watched Thor Love and Thunder, I went to the mall and they was doing this thing that when it, do you know the Rockman, Thor Rockman friend?
Yeah.
He in order to make a baby, two men had to come together, hold hands on a fire. And I see something wrong with that. And it had so much homosexual things in Thor and Love and Thunder that they won't show that in a trailer. But when you do watch a movie, it has secret things and movies everywhere have secret things that only parents might see and not children.
Yeah. True. You're totally correct. Same thing with the games. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, fully correct. And you have to be in it. You have to purposefully decide that I am going to enter into this space with them so that I can guide because you care. Because that's what parents
Uh,
do. Yeah.
Hi, Andre. Excuse just that comment though to the end. Is it advisable to try to enter the space without them, figure it out, and then allow them in the space, or you only see it from the place of entering the space with them?
If you enter it by yourself, you ain't gonna figure it out. That's my, because it kind of is literally something that you do not want to do. Your motivation had to be real high to go and play the game, understand it thoroughly, because it's a big, vast place. And some of the places that you could go in the game, they may never go. So it might be better to enter with them and see where they are walking and see where they are attracted to or whatnot. And that will give you a better guide because you might waste your time and hours and manpower going through all sorts of different things when they just want to go and pick up a rock and pelt it in at water whole day. And be like, so you know that in this game you could ride horses, right? And they'd be like, yeah, but I just want to pelt the rock at it. It's kind of like you remember babies. You used to go in the store and be like, oh, this will be so nice for the child. Let me buy it. And then you carry it home and then they play with the box. yeah, it's kind of like that. So when it comes to games, you have to kind of walk with them sort of and see how they traverse in the landscape, sort of, yeah. I hope I didn't burst your bubble.
No, you didn't. My hesitation is because unfortunately, I missed a great deal of the presentation, unfortunately. So I am very hesitant with my questions because I may be I may be asking what was mentioned. But if I could just say one more thing though, ask one more thing. Was it included in your presentation prior to this point where you're talking about entering the space with them? If there is a way to decide which of the games we're even going to enter together? Or is there anything that you do first to say, okay, well, these we're not even going to bother try, right? Because I'm just thinking about sometimes doing something together real time. You may encounter something, hey, I didn't expect this to show, share, and now you're switching it off suddenly, you're covering eyes. Is there any kind of something that happens prior to that you say, okay, well, we shortlist the names, the types, that kind of thing? If you had already dealt with something like that, we could always talk after, but I just wanted to know if yeah.
No, go to a site called commonsensemedia.org. I'll post the link in the chat, and you will see that there are actual parents who have played the games, and they would have given like reviews, and other people will give like updates and whatnot. Yeah, go to commonsensemedia.com, and they'll basically tell you the truth about what happens inside the game and how it works and all those different things.
Okay, good. All right.
You know one thing, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, that's what I would normally do. I usually I'll do this. I'll go to Common Sense Media for shows. Like if we're going to watch a particular show, I'll go here and check to see what the parents guide says. And well, there are other sites that do the same thing. commonsensemedia.com. They tend to look at all the different media and different apps and give it a rating and tell you genuinely what actually takes place and stuff like that. But of course, they might be a little liberal in terms of like homosexuality and those sort of things. So yeah, could check Common Sense Media or there's another website, but I can't find it right now. Yeah, I can't find the other site right now, but that one, Common Sense Media, that's the most comprehensive one that there is. That will give you a snapshot of like, nope, not even that one. Nope, no, not going to try that. All right, anyone else? Any questions, comments, concerns, rebuttals? Discussions? Either that or you immediately went to the website to check to see what this is. All right. So let me give my closing remarks now based on all the discussions that we've had. Thank you very much to the people that asked questions and gave comments. I want to let you know that playing games is not a bad thing. It's just like any other form of entertainment or challenge or learning. It's more of a place where you go to try to express your human emotions and your human desire to do certain things. If it is managed properly, it can be very healthy in the life of the people that are playing it, because it will give them a good way to escape from the perils of life or de-stress. If, however, it goes unchecked, is one of the most dangerous holes that a child could fall into, because they would lose many different skills in one shot. So don't demonize it in terms of it's something that I will never let them do, but try to put the effort into understanding it and manage it as best as you can, because if you don't manage it, they will go and run wild. And if you remove it totally, they will rebel and try to find a way to do it. And if you have a child who doesn't like to play games at all, that's good. Watch out for the other ways that they will try to escape life, because at the end of the day, a child is going to try to escape life, and we just have to manage it as parents. Those are my final statements. If there are no further questions, I'll hand over to Lisa.
Okay.